I think the ARB just has a classic look to it. Not only is it great protection, but I think it really does look super cool. Hey, this is Dan from Fisher Jeep Adventures, and today we are back working on the Tacoma. Now, a lot of work has been done here in the last few weeks. We have brand new lower control arms, 2.5 inch suspension lift, brand new CV axles, brakes, and calipers, as well as Icon upper control arms. So we had a CV failure on the driver's side, and I decided to go ahead and do a lot of stuff. So all of that was upper or lower control arms by Toyota, Toyota lower ball joints, upper control arms by Icon with their ball joint replacement that goes into the spindle, replacement CV axles both sides, replacement front brake discs and front calipers, and new brake shoes. So a lot of work. I didn't video it because it takes a lot of close inside stuff, and videotaping it for me, working on my back in the garage, just doesn't work. So with that being said, what today's video is going to be about is installing this ARB bull bar. Now for me, ARB bull bars are one of the best looking things you can stick on a first gen Toyota. I had it on another Toyota I had earlier in my life, and so I wanted to put one on this one. So if this is something you're interested in, please stick around for the video. We already have the front bumper off because we had to do all of the work up front, because we also put in a differential drop and replace these inner bushings with a pretty cool kit. It just takes a lot of time. So anyway, in order to get the bumper off, it's really simple. You have a bolt right here that goes into the factory bumper, and you've got 2 bolts here on each side. And these are the bumper brackets for the bumper, and this is just kind of like holds that wing in place. You can see that it's over here and then right there. And that's it, and the bumper really just falls off. So our kit from ARB is the 3423020 winch bull bar kit for a 95 to 2004 Tacoma. So this also will fit a 4Runner because they basically have the same front end. But in the kit comes the bumper itself, some brackets that attach to your frame ends, new signal lights that go for the bumper, some bumperettes that go on the front, bracketry, and then all kinds of nuts and bolts and things. So a lot of stuff that's there, and so what we're going to do is do the first step in the instructions, which is to take these off. So this is a 17 millimeter nut, and we're just going to take this cap off because the new brackets need to fit in this spot. So just taking a 17 millimeter socket, and we're just going to remove this whole piece out of the way. So we also had to take the skid plates off, of course. So there's the upper skid plate and then the lower skid plate that's down there. These are the skid plate attachment bolts. Those skid plates have to come off in order to access all of the things for the control arm replacement, because in order to get to those lower control arm bolts, you actually have to take the rack and pinion steering and loosen everything and move it out of the way, or you're never going to get that bolt out, much less the alignment brackets. Okay, we also have to remove the toe points, or the recovery points, and the toe hooks. So they'll use the same 17 millimeter socket. So I feel super fortunate. I bought this truck in Colorado when I moved out here. It spent its whole life out here. And so this thing was made in 1997. So we are almost 30 years old. And in all the work that I had to do on the front end and all of these things, everything has come right apart. And just growing up on the East Coast, if this was an East Coast Toyota, the frame would probably be rusted out all the way. But I would never have been able to take everything apart because they would all be rusted to crap. And so another plus of having a West Coast Rocky Mountain vehicle is that the stuff just still comes apart because the humidity out here is low. We don't have a lot of the issues that you have on the East Coast with rust and stuff like that. Even though we live in a snow area, if you take care of your vehicle, stuff comes apart, and I am thankful that this has been the case here. All right, so based on the instructions, the next things we have to do is to put the license plate bracket on the bumper, as well as put the kind of bumperettes on the front and the turn indicator. So the factory indicators that are in your factory bumper will not work. So ARB includes a set of universal brackets that have its own kind of wiring harness, and you just have to tie into that factory bulb here, and they give you a wiring harness to do that. So that'll be pretty simple. So just as a quick note on the turn signals, you can see if you open it up, there's the gasket and all the mounting stuff is right in there. To get those lights in, they give you these little plastic push pin things that go into this right here. Just a pro tip, get a punch and use a hammer, a couple soft taps, and it'll go right in. So I'm just using a brass punch. This is against the side of the bumper. This is pointed up. Just get it there started. Couple taps and it's right in. You can try and push them in with your hands, but it's not going to work. There it is. So from here you have the open case and the gasket material. So the gasket has a tapered side and then a flat side. The flat side goes out. Stretch it so that the gasket makes it all the way. Push it with your thumb and it just goes right in place. Okay, we got both of those lights installed. The next thing is these little bumperettes, and basically they have their own hardware. So it came with a couple nuts, and basically they just slide right on with the flat side to the top, and then you just bolt these on in the back. Super simple. Just half-inch bolts with a serrated, or half-inch nuts with a serrated bottom. Just tighten them down so that it's nice and snug. Don't go crazy. While we have the bumper upside down, we're going to go ahead and fit the electrical connection to that wire. So included in the ARB kit is the wiring harness you need to tap into the factory stuff. And so on that, you can see that the red is on the skinny portion. And so we are going to push the red wire into the back of the skinny portion of this. And so on the back of this, you basically just take, see there's a little tab right here, and since the ground is going to go on the bottom, we're just going to take that. So the tab has got to go down on the bottom of the bracket of the thing, and you're just going to push it in until it clicks. And then we're going to do the same thing for the red wire, and you can hear that click. And then that way, when we make up this harness and we plug it in, we know that the red goes to the red and the black goes to the black. ARB also adds in these kind of like wire splice connectors. These things are junk, don't use them. We're going to be using a Wago lever nut to connect the two wires, and then we'll just seal it with some electrical tape. All right, this is where ARB's instructions start to kind of get a little, let's just call it not good. So there's, I'm not going to put a winch in this right yet. I just wanted to have it winch capable. But the next step is to attach these brackets to the frame. And they leave out a bunch of steps that are not in the instructions. So we're going to kind of go over that so you know, if you ever want to do one of these installs, you'll know what I'm talking about. And you'll know how to do it. So the first piece that goes on is this little front piece. It looks very similar to what you took off. It has a flange on the back, and this is what attaches your skid, what your skid plate attaches to. So the way this just fits up just like that. Also included in the kit are some blocks, and these are what are going to step off the frame so that the bumper doesn't sit too close to the car or to the truck. Some later models years, the frame had extensions on it, and since this vehicle doesn't, it goes straight up. And what we're going to do is we're going to put these, we're going to make sure the flange on this is on the inside. We're going to take this, and then we're going to use the factory bolt that held on that thing we took off right from the beginning, and put this in place. I don't know how much of that you saw, but all I did was I put this plate on, let it sit on the ground, and then I turn this block so that you can take and hand thread that bolt on. So we'll go and do the other side and tighten it down. So when you're tightening these things down, I believe in working smarter, not harder. So just stick the wrench in, this is a 17 millimeter, and just spin it. And once it gets tight, then you can just put the wrench in there and finish it off. All right, once they're on, you just take the extension bracket with the crumple zone with the opening facing in, and you just slide that in place. All right, so I would leave these a little bit loose, just so that you have a little bit of flexibility. And then this main bracket slides right on, and you may need to take like a dead blow hammer and just knock it on. And then it takes this this bolt, just threads right in here. The tow hooks were, now you can bolt this down inside. So this spaces the bracket out so that you can get to both of these holes. So once you get the bracket lined up, there are 4 about 2-inch really fine thread bolts. So with a washer and a lock washer, these will screw right up into the frame. And this is really what secures your bumper to the frame itself. Again, these use a 3/4 inch socket. And it's just that easy. So we'll do the other 3. All right, so in the instructions, now that we have everything done, I've tightened up this bolt and then tightened up the inside bolt, and this thing is rock solid now. Now there is, in the instructions, there's a path to kind of screw a bolt up through that black block that we installed to further secure the bracket. I don't really think that's super necessary, but it's an option for you. So they include the bolt, they tell you how to drill it. There's a hole on the top right here that the bolt would drop down through. It seems a little overkill because you're really just bolting the bracket to the bracket. Even though that one extension piece is bolted to the frame, I'm just not so sure that it's necessary. It's just something you could do. I'm not going to do it, but if it's something you're interested in, please go ahead. So the next step is we got to worry about how to connect the bumper to the bracket, and they include these nuts that have this little clip, and they correspond to these square holes, and you just basically pop them in like that. There are 3 of them. You'll connect everything through here, and the bolt will tighten everything up. Same on the other side. All right, now that those cage bolts are in place, we're just going to lift the bumper up, and then we're going to take the supplied bolts. We're going to put some blue thread rocker on this just in case. And basically we're going to lift it up, set it on there, bolt it up. It's really not that hard from here. All right, we got the 6 bolts done. So these 3 on that side and those 3 on that side. And everything is done except for, I'm not putting the skid plates on yet because I have some aftermarket skid plates. Plus we're gonna do some maintenance on the front differential, change the transmission mount, change the oil, do some things, and I wanna have clean access to this area. But that skid plate mounts to the stock location and then comes up to this bar. Like I said, it's got more of those nuts that we push into the space for the bolts to screw into. And then ARB provides a plate that goes from here to here that covers this gap as well. So that's not installed yet either. So other than that, we're done. So I think it looks great. I think the ARB just has a classic look to it. Not only is it great protection, but I think it really does look super cool. It's a good addition to our project. So fairly easy to put on. The instructions were terrible, and I got a bag full of bolts left over. So I'm not quite sure I understand why all that is. Just being honest, because the winch has got 4 bolts on the feet, 2 bolts for the fair lead, and that's it. You know, so we got 6 bolts and 6 nuts, and I swear the bag is full of stuff. I know that there is some space designated on the top for the winch controller because it has to be separated based off of the design of this bumper, because the winch has to go on with the feet facing the front instead of facing down like it normally does. And then a lot of times that requires you to clock the winch so that the control is able to get to, because you access that control through a hole in the bumper. So it would either be through here or through here, depending on how you mount it. So some of that hardware may be for all of that, but we'll go through all that once I get a winch to put in it. So it's pretty tight for some of the modern winches that are out there nowadays, because this bumper was not built and designed for this, the new style of winch, whether or not you have like the Badlands 12,000-pound winch, whether it's a Warren, whether it's a Ramsey, Malmec, or whatever it might be, super winch, Smittybilt. They all have a different style to them than the older style Warren winches that this bumper was designed for. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. If you like what I've done, please think about subscribing. We're going to be doing more work to the Tacoma. Here later, we got to change the transmission mount. We'll do an oil change service. We'll change the transmission fluid, or the front differential fluid. And my clutch is kind of on the side of probably needed to be changed, and that is a massive job if you know these manual transmission trucks, to be able to do it on your back in your driveway. So we'll see if we get to that point. So we're gonna do a test drive on it. I reset the alignment to the factory spec after doing all the front end work. It's got to go get an alignment because the upper control arm is a little bit, sticks out a little bit more to give some more tire clearance for suspension travel. So we'll do that too. Anyway, Dan, Fisher Jeep Adventures, thanks for watching. See you next time.